11, the Universities of Wisconsin Board of Regents are holding a special meeting tonight. This meeting could result in serious consequences for one of the system's highest ranked officials. The agenda only lists one topic for this virtual session: the possible disciplining of firing one of the university's 13 chancellors. The agenda doesn't say which chancellor that is, and the special meeting comes about 3 weeks after the last regularly scheduled meeting of the Regents. They weren't set to meet again until early February. Tonight's meeting will start at 5.